Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Go Tigers!
Well, there is nothing quite like it all year long. It's opening day 2015 in downtown Detroit, and what new memories will we see today as the Tigers welcome in the Minnesota Twins, the 16th opener at Comerica Park. The fans are revved up, so are we. Excited to bring you Tigers baseball for our 18th season right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Welcome to opening day. Mario and Pampa alongside Rod Allen, Kirk Gibson. We are thrilled to have you with us here today. And Rod, as we embark on a new season, this is what it's all about, opening day.
Absolutely, partner. Nothing like opening day, especially in the Motor City. These are the greatest fans in the world. We've got a great pitching duel today. David Price, Phil Hughes. I can't wait.
All right, Gibby, welcome to our broadcast crew this year. I know you're excited about opening day as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You spend all that time down in spring training. Now you get to come out and play for real. Full packed house. Detroit's always a great place to do it. And we're looking forward to a great season.
All right, there is no place you would rather be. There is no place we would rather be. It's opening day here in the Motor City. The Tigers have won 4 consecutive Central Division titles today. They start the drive for 5 in a row. Tigers Twins, opening day next. expected is opening day in the Motor City. The weather is cooperating, and here is the field conditions for today's game presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. 52 degrees, our game time temperature for this one. Not really a big chance of rain. That's a good thing. Mostly cloudy this afternoon. More importantly, we have Tigers baseball to begin the 2015 campaign. Well, Danny Santana will be leading things off for the visiting Minnesota Twins who are in town. The Twins starting lineup presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. It'll be Santana at the top. He'll play short, followed by Dozier and Joe Mauer. Torrey Hunter, the former Tiger, batting cleanup in right field for the Twins today. Kenny Vargas, the DH. Trevor Plouffe is at third. You've got Arcia, Suzuki, and Schaefer rounding out the lineup for the Twins, and they will face David Price, who is presented today by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
For the last 7 years, it's been Justin Verlander who has gotten the ball first for the Tigers on opening day. Today, it is David Price's turn. Power fastball, mid-90s, nice cutter, real nice changeup. New improved curveball. Is going to be an outstanding afternoon for David Price here today.
And we are ready to get this thing rolling. The first pitch of the 2015 season is a ball down low to Danny Santana. It'll be Santana, Dozier, and Mauer. The numbers on Santana last year were very good at .319 batting average. And Price ready with the 1-0. That is in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Last time we saw Danny Santana, he was playing center field for the Minnesota Twins, but he's back at his familiar position. That would be the shortstop position.
And he really hit Tigers pitching very well last year. .368.
Ooh, didn't he though?
Tigers had a lot of trouble getting him out last season. There's a wave and a miss.
A little guy with a lot of pop too. He'll sock one on you, and pretty good switch hitter. Very good from the right side. More power that way.
Santana will run as well. 20 swipes last year. There's Brian Dozier waiting in the on-deck circle. Tigers and Twins, 2 Central Division opponents to crack things open here in 2015. Here's the 1-2. Santana knocked in 40 last year for the Minnesota Twins. He's facing a tough customer in David Price today, who makes his first opening day start as a member of the Tigers. You guys surprised at all it was Price over Verlander, or what do you think?
I'm not surprised at all, me personally.
1-2. That is pulled right to the third baseman, Castellanos. 1 gone.
While we have a moment, let's set the Tigers starting defensive alignment presented by Beaumont Health System. It's the defense you'll see on most nights. You have Cespedes, Davis, J.D. Martinez in the outfield, Castellanos, Iglesias, Kinsler, Cabrera in the infield. Finished second rookie of the year with Iglesias in 2013.
Well, Tigers fans will be thrilled to see Iglesias back out there day in and day out. Coming back from the surgery on his shins last season. Brian Dozier swings on the first pitch and pops it up. Cabrera foul ground. 2 gone.
It's one thing David Price is going to do a lot of, especially to the right-handed batters that the Minnesota Twins will run up there this afternoon. He has outstanding command with his fastball on the outer third of home plate. He throws a cutter on the outside part of the plate. Also, he'll cut him inside, and then that slow breaking ball, he'll keep some of the left-handers off balance.
I think you look at David Price, probably like you say, right, he's going to start early, try and establish the fastball, go to his off-speed stuff as he progresses through the game. Certainly when you get deep into the game, maybe you break out that curveball.
There would be a time where Joe Mauer, who's standing in the batter's box, would take the first pitch, but they say he's swinging a lot more often these days.
Mauer, fellows, I would suppose is going to be extremely important this year to kind of have a bounce-back season. He did bat .277 last year.
Yeah, he had that pulled oblique last year after they moved him to first base. And couldn't pull the ball last year. He's put a lot of work in on the tee with his hitting coach and trying to pull the ball more.
As he does there, but right on the ground to second baseman Kinsler. What a start to 2015. A 1-2-3 inning for David Price. Miguel Cabrera, he'll bat third when the Tigers come up in the bottom of the first.
Day here, another jam-packed crowd here at the ballpark, and here is the Tigers starting lineup this afternoon. It is presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. For the Tigers, Rajai Davis will lead off and play in center field. Kinsler, Cabrera to follow your middle three, Victor and JD Martinez. Then Yoenis Cespedes, who has hit at least 20 homers in all 3 big league seasons. Castellanos, Avila, and Jose Iglesias rounding it out, and they are facing the right-hander Phil Hughes.
And Phil Hughes, outstanding last year. His first year in a Minnesota Twins uniform, won 16 games. He lost only 10, and that's not a typo down there in the strikeout and the walk category. 186 strikeouts. He only walked 16 batters last year.
And this is Phil Hughes' first career opening day start. Rajai Davis leads it off and looks at ball 1 inside.
Lots of fastballs and sliders to the right-handed batters for Hughes. He likes to throw a few more change-ups and a lot more fastballs away to the left-handed batters.
Also likes to elevate that fastball. Lives at the top of the zone. Like you say, he'll throw that cutter.
Very important for the Tigers to lay off that elevated fastball early if they don't want that weakness exploited by Hughes.
Yeah, he sneaks it up there pretty good, and when you swing at that ball that's elevated, it's tough to get on top of it.
If the Tigers swing at it, he'll continue to throw it up there.
Rajai batted .282 last season, and Anthony Gose had a terrific spring, but it's Davis that gets the start in center field today. And in the leadoff spot, it is fouled off at home plate.
Yeah, Brad told the media today in his briefing before the game that he thought that Rajai deserved it based upon what he did last year. And also, Phil Hughes has a reverse split, meaning lefties hit worse off of him than righties, and most of the time it's the other way around.
1-2 is on the ground to second base. Brian Dozier gobbles it up. 1 gone.
Let's take a look at the Minnesota Twins starting defense. It is brought to you by Tim Hortons. In the outfield, they have Arcia Schaefer and the former Tiger Torrey Hunter. In the infield, left or right, it is Poof, Santana, Dozier, Mauer, Kirk Suzuki. And putting down the fingers this afternoon for Phil Hughes.
Brian Dozier recently signed a new contract for the Minnesota Twins. Had a really good season last year.
Got one of them deals that you got, buddy.
Yeah, one of them lifetime deals, right? Hughes goes to work against Ian Kinsler, and he lines one to left field, and Kinsler, who had a really hot spring, just continues to swing it.
Loves to swing at the first pitch, especially when you give him a first pitch fastball.
So that'll bring up Miguel Cabrera. Bernstein advantage brings you the pitcher-batter matchup, and Miggy has the Bernstein advantage here. Career, look at these numbers.
.516 with 5 home runs. He's driven in 12 in his career against Hughes. Make no mistake about it. In a pressured situation, runner in scoring position, as good as Victor Martinez was last year, Hughes, he will not want anything to do with the big fella, Miguel Cabrera.
That's why it's so important where Victor is there in that lineup, Rod. They're going to pitch around Miggy many times this year. Victor, if he has another year like he did last year, 32 home runs, he can still drive the ball out of the park. The other thing, if Miggy clears the bases, Victor with the 400+ on base percentage sets the table for JD Martinez behind him.
There just are not too many soft spots in this Tigers lineup.
Definitely the strength.
Pulled just foul outside of the bag at third.
And for me, this is the best offense in all of baseball. I know I may be a little biased, but a lot of people out there think the Toronto Blue Jays have as good a lineup in the middle of their order as the Tigers do, but I'm not buying it just yet.
Well, I think the addition of Cespedes certainly makes the Tigers a lot deeper, and you've got a guy like Kinsler who can drive in runs at the top.
He drove in 92 last year.
So it would be hard to argue that there are many better than Detroit. 0-2. Miggy skies one in the air to right field, straight at Torrey Hunter. 2 gone. There's the former Tiger, Torrey Hunter, back with the team that he began his big league career with.
He's always got a smile on his face. The right field fans out there giving Torrey the business right now.
You know, it doesn't matter where he goes, where he's played, he always gets a nice round of applause.
He is one guy in this game that I've never heard anybody say one bad word about. Not one bad word have I ever heard anybody say about.
Always spreading the positivity too.
So here is Victor Martinez now with 2 outs. Well, you know Victor's numbers last year, they were awfully good. A little bit of a slow going spring camp this year as he continues to find his way back from the knee surgery that he had in the offseason right before spring camp opened.
And Paul Molitor, the new manager of the Minnesota Twins, has Dozier, the second baseman, playing about 6-7 steps deeper from his respective position at that second base position to take down a base hit away from Victor.
He'll shoot one the other way in a soft line and caught on the run by Santana. That'll end the inning. No runs and a hit. One man left. Your expectations of what a bank can be. When it's time, come to Comerica. By Jeep, visit Jeep.com to learn more. And by Fresh Express blends and kits, consistently deliciously fresh. Back here at Comerica Park, the bunting is out. It is jam-packed. It is opening day. And the Tigers and Twins are going to the top of the second. Torrey Hunter leads it off for the Minnesota Twins. It'll be Hunter, Vargas, and Plouffe. These are the numbers last year with the Tigers, 286. The Twins signed him to a one-year deal in the offseason. It's fouled back out of play. I don't know about you guys, but if Torrey was not going to re-sign with the Tigers at the end of last year, there probably was only one team that he was going to go to, don't you think, the Twins?
He had some other options, but he just felt like he wanted to go back to Minnesota, a place where it all started for him, to play for Paul Molitor. He was very comfortable, obviously, when he started his career in Minnesota.
Hunter knocked in 83 last year for the Tigers. Here's the 1-1. Vargas and then Plouffe to follow, as David Price had a 1-2-3 first inning, and he threw just 8 pitches in that first. Now Price ready with the 1-2. He got him, strike 3. Torrey took it looking. First strikeout for Price.
And nice cut fastball at 92 thrown here by Price. Torrey must have thought the ball was up or it started off the plate, but by the time it got into the hitting zone, it was right down the middle, about belt buckle high.
There you see the fingertips, that little cutter. Looked like he was trying to come in, got away with one right there.
He sure did.
Sometimes you get hitters guessing, though. David Price coming right after the hitters here early in the game.
Here is Kenny Vargas, who was a really pleasant surprise last year for the Twins. And he looks at a strike at the knees.
And no need in throwing Vargas a strike after you get ahead of him. He is very aggressive. He's got tremendous power in all directions, but he does not have a lot of plate discipline, still real young. at playing at the major league level.
Swings the bat a little better from the other side of the plate as well.
We might see Price break out that new improved curveball he'd been featuring the entire spring.
Vargas looks at another, and that is in there for a strike. 0-2.
And there's that breaking ball at 87 miles an hour. Not necessarily the location that you want. You want to make sure you bury it, especially to a guy like Vargas that has power, but he got away with it.
Alex Avila behind the dish, flashing signals today for the Tigers. And the 0-2. Vargas last year hit 17 home runs at the Double-A level, got to the big leagues and hit 9 more. And the 1-2. Get back out of play. Well, David Price is a workhorse. We know that by now. Last season, David Price pitched a total of 248 innings and struck out 271. And when the Tigers needed him the most on the final day of last season, David Price was there for them. And now Price will step on.
Probably a little different look opening day here in Detroit as opposed to Tampa Bay, don't you think?
For sure.
And Vargas sends a ground ball to second. That'll be routine there for Kinsler. 2 up, 2 down.
Nice location on that pitch down the way. A little bit of movement on it.
They'll bring up Trevor Plouffe. Plouffe batting with the bases empty. 14 home runs last year for the Twins.
Home run numbers for Plouffe went down, but his doubles number went up. He had 40 doubles last year. Really started to use the opposite field a little bit more frequently. And therefore, the batting average was up just a tick, and he was able to drive in some crucial runs for the Minnesota Twins.
Foul straight back. 0-1. Twins last year were 5th in the league in runs scored. They had no trouble scoring runs. They had a high on-base percentage, which was among the best in the American League, second. But they certainly are hopeful of getting some improvement from the rotation this year for Paul Molitor.
Well, they're going to have to get some improvement from the rotation. They finished dead last in that category last year. And as good as their offense was, they really couldn't outslug the opposition, and they won't be able to do that again this year, especially in the American League Central, which a lot of people believe is the toughest division in all of baseball.
1 ball, 1 strike. And Plouffe looks at the ball outside. 2-1.
They will take a walk. They score lots of runs. They will steal a lot of bases. They have to get better defensively as well this year, the Minnesota Twins.
Look at their percentages right there. They're being very aggressive today, though. Normally taking more pitches, but they've scouted David Price and understand they want to get on top of him.
Driven toward left field, sinking and caught by Cespedes. It'll be a 1-2-3 inning. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. here. It's time now for the Menards Big Money Encounter. Well, the Tigers have been money, or at least were last season, guys, in terms of offense. Look at the MLB ranks last year.
And as good as their offense was last year, there are many out there that believe their offense a little bit better this year. More athleticism. They're going to steal a few more bases, and they've added Cespedes. And they also get JD Martinez for a full season.
And we know what JD did after coming up late April last year. Hit 10 home runs in the minor leagues, and all he did was add 23 more at the major league level.
He was money, wasn't
he? He really was. It's driven high in the air to right center field. That ball is hit well. Still going back to the track, to the wall. And JD Martinez has hit it out. It's gone. His first at bat in 2015 is a long ball. Right where he left off.
Yeah, really impressive the way he has his at-bats here. You just let him get it deep. He's got that opposite field approach. Ball right down the middle of the heart. You can see right off the sweet spot. That's a long poke out there. That's a strong man right there.
Most guys do not hit balls in that direction over the out-of-town scoreboard, but JD Martinez has that kind of pop in his bat.
So Martinez makes it 1-0 in favor of Detroit, and here is Yoenis Cespedes.
That's one thing about the quartet that bat in the middle of the lineup for the Tigers. They're not afraid to go the other way, and all have power the opposite way.
And is yanked fair down the third base line to the corner. It rolls. Cespedes has extra bases, and he'll pull in with a double.
One thing the Tigers will do here today, they will be very aggressive against Phil Hughes. For the most part, they know that he got away with throwing a lot of fastballs last year, whether it was a four-seam fastball or the cut fastball. And many guys will go up there sitting on that particular pitch very early in counts. And the kind of guys they have, they're not going to miss those fastballs.
Well, the thing is, if you get through one of them, there's many more behind them. There you saw Cespedes, who we watched have that right center approach all spring training. Aggressive early, gets a pitch he can pull, and pulls it into the corner.
And nobody out, runner on second base. Castellanos has a job to do early in this contest. At least get Cespedes over to third base or drive him in. He has no problem hitting the ball the opposite way.
Castellanos looks at a ball outside, 1-0. Nick batted .259 in his rookie campaign last year. He put up 11 homers, knocked in 66. Here's the 1-0. Tigers get the leadoff home run from JD Martinez, and then a double from Yoenis Cespedes. And they've gotten to Phil Hughes a little bit here in the second. Hughes, a 16-game winner last year. That is in for a strike. Hughes out of Mission Viejo, California, was signed to a 5-year extension this past December, so the Twins want him sticking around for a while. There's Avila waiting on deck.
A lot of signings around the league nowadays, huh, Rod?
Yeah, a lot of teams are trying to control, especially the younger players. And then if you find a guy that pitched as well as Hughes did last year, it's a nice job by Terry Ryan, their general manager, knowing if they allowed Phil Hughes to hit the free agent market, there's no way they'd be able to bring him back.
Well, as you said, their pitching has not been good over the last 4 years. That's been their demise. So if you get somebody good, you have to secure him.
That'll get back out of play.
Let's take a look at the MGM Grand. Detroit brings you the scouting report on Phil Hughes. Take a look at his fastball the last couple of years. 2013, of course, he was wearing the New York Yankee uniform. The opponents hit .325 with 16 home runs against his fastball last year. Only .285 against the Hughes fastball with 9 home runs. The overwhelming difference is Yankee Stadium and Target Field. Balls fly more frequently in Yankee Stadium.
And when you get into a stadium like that, much more confidence to throw that pitch. Probably don't aim it as much, have better location, make better pitches.
Hughes in that first inning threw 11 pitches, 10 of them strikes. But he's been stung by the home run ball here in the second. Swing and a miss, and Castellanos down on strikes.
Pretty good pitches right there on the outside part of the plate. Couldn't catch up to it.
Well, the cut fastball that Hughes features, it starts right down the middle of the plate, and that's exactly what Castellanos sees, and all of a sudden the ball inches its way to the outside corner. Castellanos swung but came up empty.
Here is Alex Avila with 1 out. 11 home runs last year for Avila. Avila has a new running mate behind the dish this year. James McCann will back him up. He's fouled back out of play. Avila last year was second in the ball club in walks. Not a bad seat in the house today. There is a loaded ballpark here this afternoon. All the seats are filled, and I can imagine that not a whole lot of room on the sidewalks outside of the stadium as well. A lot of folks come downtown whether they have a ticket or not, just to be part of opening day. They'll get back into the seats 0-2.
Saul Cespedes out there with a little fake trying to time up Phil Hughes, who's going to take third base. That's a good play if you can make it with 1 out.
And the one thing about stealing third base is you have to have that secondary lead, which gives you a little momentum of carrying you to third base. You see Cespedes, he went from a standstill position, and he may have felt like he didn't have a good enough jump to continue to go.
Yeah, you have to time it just right, gain as much ground as you can before the pitch is released.
A little bit off the plate. 1-2 on Avila.
Tell you the other reason I like that, now he's going to get a little more attention from Danny Santana out there. Maybe that opens the hole up for Alex Avila, the 5-6 hole.
Two. Hughes last year pitched 200 innings for the first time in his career. We talk about his walks, only 16 all season long. There is Iglesias waiting on deck. And the 2-2. Pulled on the ground, foul. When you're talking about a walk ratio of 11.5, strikeout to walk ratio of 11.5 to 1, I mean, that's incredible.
Well, that's a major league record, isn't it? That's a pretty good stat right there. Doesn't walk anybody, coming right after everybody. But can he duplicate it?
That is a really good question. With the same success that he had last year, a 16-game winner. Lifted high in the air toward left. He put a charge into that one. Arcia going back. Track, wall, and it's going to carry out. It's gone. Alex Avila with an opposite field 2-run shot.
Kind of a reoccurring theme we're seeing here with that approach from the Tigers right here. Both home runs coming in the opposite direction.
It would be awfully nice to see Avila get off to an outstanding start this year. A little cut fastball that creeps right back into the happy zone of Avila, down and in, and he just flips it the opposite way over the Tigers bullpen. Tigers 3-0 over Phil Hughes here in the bottom half of the second inning.
Hughes had absolutely dominated the Tigers in a couple of starts last year, but the Tigers have brought out the big bats early in this one.
Well, as good as Hughes was last year, the one thing that you have to do if you've had the kind of success he did the year before,
Base hit up the middle for Iglesias.
You're going to have to change a little bit of what you did in 2014, because a lot of the Tigers have been swinging early and swinging often. Now a visit from the new pitching coach, Neil Allen.
You know, I was reading about Neil Allen, his philosophy. He wants all of his pitchers to throw a changeup. Also, he wants them to be more dominant on the inside part of the plate. I've not seen a lot of those pitches on the inside part of the plate to the Tigers. They've taken total advantage of those pitches that Hughes is leaving out over the plate. A couple of home runs so far.
Hey, stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game, where we will select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by the 2 for $5 Classic Quarter Pounder with Cheese. So stick around for that. Got a couple of early leaders in the clubhouse. Avila would be one of them. 2-run shot to make it 3-0 Detroit. Good to see Iglesias get a base hit in his first at bat.
And Phil Hughes totally dominated Alex Avila last year, so that's a good start for the 2015 season.
Here's Rajay Davis. Still only 1 out in this inning. Rajay looks at a ball outside. Davis bounced out 4-3 back in the first inning. Popped up foul, and Mauer gives a look back out of play. Even Rajay last year showed a little bit of an increase in power. He had 8 home runs, which equaled his career high. Of course, he stole 36 bases as well. Really had an overall very good season for the Tigers.
You know, Iglesias wants to run too. You get on base early in the season, you always have the tendency to be aggressive. Phil Hughes pretty quick to the plate, though.
There he goes.
Time him up.
Oh, my goodness. He'll steal it standing up.
And if you take a look at this right here, Iglesias has been timing him up over there. Probably Omar Vizquel. Just giving him a little tip right there. And what they'll do is they'll kind of count it out, 1001, and then if they find a pattern, they'll just take off, which Iglesias has got the bag.
2-2 on Davis.
Such a big jump for Iglesias. He didn't even have to slide at second base.
Got to do it and get dirty, though, don't you?
And Brad will allow a lot of these guys to go on their own early in the season, whether it be Iglesias, whether it be Ghost or Kinsler or Rajay Davis. They have the green light until he takes it off.
Rajay sends a ground ball deep in the hole. It's short. Santana will throw to third, and they will get the runner Iglesias coming to the bag.
That's a mistake by Iglesias. Really nowhere to go. You are already in scoring position. As a rule of thumb, anything hit to your right, you have to make the ball go through the infield. As it turned out, this probably would have been the only play that the shortstop Santana had. Even though he has a good throwing arm, he wasn't going to throw Rajay Davis out at first base, so Iglesias did the Minnesota Twins a favor.
And maybe the only silver lining is Rajay Davis with an opportunity to get to second base and replace where Iglesias made the mistake.
And as a result, Mr. Hughes will throw back to the bag.
If you're Paul Molitor in your first year as a manager for the Minnesota Twins, it might not be all bad to help Hughes out by pitching out on the first or second pitch if you're convinced that Rajay Davis is going to try to steal second.
Now this works a couple ways. If you stay like Rajay did right there, you got Ian Kinsler, who likes the fastball. Does it influence Phil Hughes to throw the heater? Yeah, I think as you get later in the count, though, you're more apt to try and steal the base.
36 of them last year for Davis. He was caught 11 times. Chasing back again.
Yeah, you saw the deke right there. Now he's messing with him a little bit. It's always good to take some of that focus of the pitcher and put it on the runner in the advantage of the hitter.
There goes the runner. Not a good jump. Throw down to second. He's not in time. He's stolen anyway. Actually looked like he was spinning his wheels a little bit.
Yeah, Rajay's got great technique, though. If you watch him, he gets going pretty quickly. He's got very good mechanics over there. Watch the slide to the back edge of the bag. Got to stay down right there.
One thing about Rajay Davis, usually when he does take off, he's going full speed on his first or second step, and that allows him to steal so many bases successfully.
Yeah, 80% lifetime. He knows what he's doing.
Well, since 2004, as far as the Tigers are concerned, 36 is the top mark. Austin Jackson on that list, along with Curtis Granderson, Nook Logan. Strike in the inside corner, caught him looking. Kinsler is out of there, and that's going to be it for the Tigers. When we come back, we've got an Oscar winner in our booth. JK Simmons will join us. We'll be back. Park on opening day, and we are thrilled to have JK Simmons in the booth with us, Oscar winner, along with Kirk Gibson, Ron Allen. JK got a chance to throw out the first pitch today, but we know you're a big Tigers fan. It's got to be a thrill for you.
Absolutely. It's my biggest thrill of the year.
Now, what are your earliest memories of Tigers baseball? How far back do they go?
Well, probably 1960, maybe, when I was 5 years old, sitting in the cheap seats out in right field, hoping Willie Horton or Al Kaline would hit one to me. They never did. They never cooperated.
So you've seen 2 World Championships so far, and you're going to bring us some good luck today, and
yes,
see
indeed.
Another this year.
Yeah. Well, I was bringing you some good luck, and then they had me leave my seat to come up to the booth, and then immediately Iglesias gets thrown out at third. So I should get back to my seat, after this inning.
How about this first pitch? Were you nervous at all?
I honestly was more nervous than I was walking up onto the stage at the Dolby Theater.
Really?
Oscar and I.
You threw a strike right down the middle.
Yeah, I short-armed it a little bit, but I think I caught the inside.
Got a better arm than me.
They had that clocked at 93, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
I felt like it was more like 95 or 96, but the gun's a little slow, I guess.
Talk to us about the Oscar. I mean, that's what an incredible honor.
Yeah, I mean it's a beautiful thing, and it's sitting at home on my bookshelf, and I walk by it all the time and kind of go, wow, look at that.
Best supporting actor, Whiplash, of course, and For the Love of the Game, I guess, is in your past too. So you do have some Tiger roots here, and you got to play a Tiger in that game.
I did indeed. Yeah, my only wish was that I could have played the center fielder instead of the manager, but I don't think I quite had the skill set.
Now this is a sweet look, fellas. What do you think about this look right here?
Well, that was honestly, and this is 100% true. I based that look on Jim Leland.
Is that right?
He was the pirate skipper at the time, and I always thought he was a real baseball role model for me. And of course, I had a premonition that he was going to come to Detroit in '06, and it turns out I was right.
Here's Suzuki, the batter here, as we play in the third. Tigers on the strength of a couple of home runs, leading 3-0.
You get a chance to watch this Tigers team the last number of years. There are a lot of people out there, JK, that believe that this Tigers team assembled in 2015 is the best group they've had in the last 8-9 years.
I think it might be, and you look at two guys going opposite field here, on opening day, and yeah, I mean, I think the lineup could be. There's a can of corn, right? No.
Oh, it's drilled deep to left. He's got a little bit of leg.
Got it.
Tries Cespedes. What a play.
Wow. Welcome to Detroit.
That's another reason that they believe this team is much better defensively in left field. You have a Cespedes out there that has tremendous athleticism, who's already made a lot of really nice plays in a Tigers uniform, gets back there, times it perfectly, able to elevate and take a home run away from Kurt Suzuki.
Beautiful catch.
You know, you're down there in spring training. They work on that stuff all the time, Rod, as you well know. And you have to be comfortable with getting back to that wall. That's very tough to do. Knew exactly where he was. Counted his 2 or 3 steps out. Timed the jump perfectly. Took a home run away.
Tigers fans kind of digging you on this Cespedes. He's already doubled and scored, and now he's taking a home run away from the opposing catcher.
So is David Price. He was pretty pumped up about that play as well. Jordan Schaefer he'll take a strike in the inside corner.
So how many games do you come to a year?
Well, I don't get to Detroit very often at all anymore, but I live in L.A., so I always get to some games in Anaheim, and then they've been out at Dodger Stadium several times over the last several years, so I always try to catch them there. And I've caught some postseason games in Oakland and Detroit and New York and here and there over the years. But I catch you guys about 150 games a year.
Really?
Well, I might be pushing it a little, but definitely over 100.
It's always good that when you're on the West Coast that the games are much earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if you're not sitting around at home at 4 o'clock, you can always put it on the DVR and watch it when you got time. I always everybody at work knows, at least on my regular jobs, when I was doing a TV series, they know not to give me any scores because I want to be watching it when I get home.
What do you got, JK, in the Central this year? What do you think? I mean, it's much improved.
It is much improved. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody got better, and it's going to be a tough division, but I think 5 in a row is definitely within reach.
So you're calling it right now?
I am calling it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're behind you.
I'll see you. Just invite me back in September.
I got you back.
So
I got you back.
0-2 Jordan Schaefer. 3-0 in favor of the Tigers. Martinez and Avila with home runs. And then when crossed up Avila, it appeared. 1 ball, 2 strikes. JD Martinez hit the home run to start the bottom of the second. Then Avila went the other way with an opposite field 2-run shot. Santana waiting on deck. Price with a 1-2. Fouled off.
That's a bad surprise on that previous pitch when he was looking for the curveball, you think, and the fastball came flying.
That's what it looked like, but he was still able to catch it, though.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's nice when that happens and there's nobody on base, too.
You got that right.
It's also nice when you have a catcher's mask on and that happens.
Yes, indeed. I noticed McCann didn't wear the mask when I threw to him. I guess figured he'd be okay if I one-hopped it.
Felt pretty comfortable about you, didn't he?
Yeah, he did tell me I hurt his hand a little bit.
So did you get McCann's autograph, or did McCann get your autograph?
Oh, we got both. We go both ways.
You switched? All right. That's good. 2-2 on Schaefer. We're talking with JK Simmons, who is a big Tigers fan. Now, you grew up in Grosse Pointe, is that correct?
In the woods, and then moved to Grosse Pointe Farms. And we left Michigan when I was 10 years old. But there we go. Roger's got it.
Davis is there to end the inning. Hey, JK, thanks for stopping up. Don't be a stranger when we come out to L.A., all right?
Absolutely. We'll see you there.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
All right. JK Simmons joining us in the booth here this afternoon on opening day. There's that first pitch again from JK.
Check in now with Johnny Kane, who is among the people today.
Hey, I'm here just in front of the main entrance to Comerica Park, and one of the main attractions are these larger-than-life-size bobbleheads. We have Victor Martinez, Ian Kinsler, the Red Wings and Pistons also represented. They'll be here through the end of the day before being placed at various locations across Detroit. We'll send it back to you guys. It's April in the D.
It is, Johnny. Thank you very much. And the Tigers off to a great start in April in the D. They lead Phil Hughes and the Twins 3-0. Cabrera leading it off. And Miguel looks at a ball up high. 2-0 the count on Cabrera.
And Mickey sitting in a real nice friendly hitters count. We already put up the numbers against Hughes in his career. He's hitting better than 500. If Hughes throws him a fastball here, no doubt Mickey will square it up and hit it hard somewhere.
In there for a strike.
Kind of crossed him up there, came on the inside part of the plate right there. That's how they got Ian Kinsler to end the previous half inning for the Tigers.
2-1 is swung on and tipped into the glove. 2-2. Well, it was a relatively uneventful first inning for Hughes. The Tigers got him for a pair of homers in the second. Victor lurking on deck. The ball is popped up. Shallow right field. Dozier going back. And one gone. And the Tigers' third. Hey, by the way, see the Tigers take on the Yankees April 20th through the 23rd. Receive an Al Kaline 1968 replica jersey. It's part of the Tigers Championship Jersey Series. Exclusive packages are available only at tigers.com/jersey. So check that out online. And score number 6. Here's Victor Martinez. Popped up his first at bat. Victor looks at the ball. Shift on for Martinez. There's a look at it. Dozier deep on the grass at second. It's pulled to right field. Torrey Hunter coming on to make the basket catch. 2 up, 2 down. And here's JD Martinez. JD got it going back in the second, a leadoff home run, his first of the season. And he looks at a strike. 0-1. You know, it seemed during spring training, guys, that JD really didn't want to talk a whole lot about last year because he knows that that's in the past and he needs to come back out here this season and do it again.
Yeah, I think you're a player, you want to follow it up, and if he does that, he's on his way. I mean, he virtually got let go by the Houston Astros and found a home here in AAA initially and made the most out of it. A great opportunity. So important for him to have another good year. He'll be on his way.
Tried to check it, and he went around for strike 3, and Hughes has a 1-2-3 inning, his third strikeout. Some video taken from some fans' mobile devices, and you can do the same. Turn in your video, and perhaps we'll see it on one of the Tigers telecasts. Go to foxsportsdetroit.com.
Gibby, did you get out there and tailgate with the people here this morning?
Tailgated with the traffic today to get out in here. I'd like to. We used to, years ago, go around there with the camera. Fans have a great time leading up to the game.
Danny Santana leads it off.
How about you?
I did not get out there today.
Only get out there in the nasty weather, huh?
Oh, no.
Here's the 0-1 from Price. Soft line drive. Oh, snared at second by Kinsler.
Nice hops by Ian Kinsler, who had his feet moving, which allowed him to get on the balls of his feet and elevate. Had he tried to go from a standstill position, I don't think he makes his play, but the fact that he was moving already in that direction allowed him to get up and take a possible double away from Santana.
Yeah, that's a great point, Rod. When you see a fielder make a play, it usually starts with their feet. They're pre-pitch. If you're down here at the ballpark, look at any fielder on the field and look what they do in their pre-pitch leading up to the actual throwing of the pitch, and then when it crosses the plate, very good job there by Ian.
That was the second dynamite defensive play turned behind Price in this game.
Tigers defenders love playing behind Price because he's so efficient with the strike throwing. He's thrown 37 pitches. 27 of those have hit the strike zone, so they're always on their toes waiting for the ball to be hit to them.
Working fast too. That's another element that why you like to play behind somebody.
One ball, one strike on Brian Dozier. Popped up his first at bat.
Real nice year last year for Dozier. He hit more than 20 home runs, stole more than 20 bases. He scored 112 runs and had 89 base on balls. He's a real nice player for Minnesota.
It's a really good indication of how good their offense was last year. 112 runs scored. This one's popped up first base side. Will there be room? Avila has it. Two gone. Time to check in out of the studio. Here's Mickey York. All right, Mick, thank you. A lot of folks are talking about that Blue Jays team this year.
They've got a great offense.
They just kept a couple of kids on that team too, mixing in some youth. Really young flamethrower. They got a pretty good lineup over there.
Devin Travis, one of the youngsters, a former Tiger farmhand for the Blue Jays. Joe Mauer, the batter. Mauer pulled one on the ground his first time up, bounced out to second base. Spray that one foul. No balls, two strikes. Mauer had 55 RBIs last year.
Was hurt for 40 games with that oblique strain. Never really came back strong after that. It's always been kind of the knock on Joe Mauer. As good a player as he is, he just doesn't drive the ball out of the ballpark.
And there is strike three on the outer edge. Boy, David Price cruising along through 4 innings. When the Tigers come up at the bottom of the fourth, Yoenis Cespedes will lead it off. Cespedes will start things off here in the bottom of the fourth. And guys, we know that Dave Dombrowski's not afraid to pull the trigger on some big trades.
No doubt. It's one of the things that Mr. Ilitch has allowed David Dombrowski to do, and that's to run the organization regardless of what they need at the trade deadline or before the season starts. He's allowed to go out and get it. He was able to get Miguel Cabrera, Max Scherzer, Doug Fister, Anibal Sanchez, traded for Kinsler and also Cespedes. So Trader Dave, he's at it every year with the Detroit Tigers.
Cespedes already has made his presence felt. He has made a leaping catch in left, and he's also doubled in scoring.
Yeah, and also those players, you look at that list of players, those are all impact players. He's not going out to just fill the roster in. Those are impact players that do damage. And looking at Cespedes right here, like you said, a complete ball player.
High fly ball center field. Schaefer under it.
And Dave is one of the longest tenured general managers in our sport, and he's highly respected amongst his peers. And that's one thing he's always loved. He's always loved power bats, and he's always loved power arms.
And totally willing to trade his prospects away to get what he needs to get, and or any player on the squad if he thinks it's going to make it a better team.
Dave was commenting the other day that he feels like this is the best team that he's had since he's been in Detroit, starting back in 2002.
Castellanos fouls it back.
Yeah, it seems like he's tried to make his team stronger in more areas of the game. So you have different ways to manufacture runs, manufacture wins, offensively and defensively.
Nick struck out his first time up. Well, making trades is one thing, signing free agents is another, and of course it all started with Pudge Rodriguez to kind of put the Tigers back on the map. And through the past decade or so, Dave has found a way also to augment his roster with some free agent signings that have turned out to work really well. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Castellanos.
And Hughes has started to elevate that fastball the last couple of innings, so it's going to be very important for Castellanos in the 1-2 count. If Hughes does throw the ball up around the letters that you lay off of it, it's a very difficult pitch to get to at 90 miles an hour.
Getting into a little more of a rhythm.
A little bit outside.
I think when you get into an opening day game that you got a little bit of nerves to deal with as well. You get a little pressure on you. It's the first time he's had to deal with it this year. Look at the pitches here, 54 total, 41 of them strikes.
How long do you think those nerves last? You think they last throughout the game or just the first inning?
I think probably the first inning you calm down a little bit. Tigers threw a 3-spot on him, and after that it really forced him to bear down. He seems like he's got much better rhythm like right now.
He's pitching his game now. He got Miggy to pop up on a fastball up in the strike zone. He also struck out JD Martinez on an elevated fastball.
Made some pitches probably down the middle of the plate earlier in the game, and the Tigers made him pay.
So Castellanos gets a walk. The Tigers have yet another base runner. Hughes had a 7-pitch 3rd inning, but now he has walked his first here in the 4th. Is that a Vila home run? Two-run shot, his first of the year to make it 3-0 Detroit. Vila shoots one the other way, slicing and dropping in, a base hit.
I see you, Alex.
A couple of hits the other way for Avila in this game.
Get that cutter off your hands right there. Good job of keeping his hands in, fighting that off.
Arcia in left field, playing rather deep as well. Really had no shot at coming in and making the play.
Just watching Alex, seems like when he hits the ball the other way, he hits it in the air more. When he pulls the ball, more on the ground.
That's exactly the way they play him defensively.
Here is Iglesias, who had a base hit in his first at bat.
Iglesias is the one that loves to swing at the first pitch, especially when you're throwing fastballs.
That's it for a strike. 0-1. Good to see Iglesias get a base hit in his first at bat. He had struggled offensively, at least in terms of batting average during spring camp.
A real nice approach here today given to the Tigers hitters by their hitting coach Wally Joyner. I talked to Wally yesterday. The team had an involuntary workout here at the ballpark, and he said it's going to be very important for his team to display some patience against Hughes, even though they know that they're going to get lots of fastballs. They've got to make him bring the ball down in the strike zone, and they can't be afraid to let the ball travel and hit it the opposite way. The majority of their hits today have been opposite field hits or home runs.
Wally last year was able to oversee an offense that led the American League in average. A lot of categories, really. On base percentage, slugging percentage.
One area they'd like to improve. They'd like to improve with their two-strike batting this year.
Castellanos along with Avila. Here's the 0-2. Soft roller towards short. Santana on the charge. Flipping to second one. That's all they'll get. First and third now with 2 outs.
Kind of in his kitchen there a little bit. Seeing Hughes about on 3 of the Tiger hitters. He gets ahead of the count, finishing hard in.
Here's Rajai Davis. Davis reaching on a fielder's choice and stealing a bag back in the second inning. Tigers trying to build on their 3-0 lead.
And Rajai Davis was really good in these situations last year for the Tigers. Much better with runners on than he was when the bases were empty. And here's proof of that fact. Hit better than 300 with runners on base last year.
A little bit outside, 1-1.
You can see Iglesias talking with Omar Vizquel over there. Is this a good time to run? You get down in the count, maybe so.
Why, Gibby, is it a better time to run when the hitter is down in the count?
Well, I think if you got Iglesias on there now, you maybe want him to influence what Rajai Davis is going to see. Maybe you get more heaters as you get later in the count. Raji's a good, if he gets thrown out, Raji's a good leadoff hitter next inning. Yet if you get him to second base and Raji gets a hit, as we just talked about, the situations that he's hit better last year in these situations, you pick up the spare an extra run.
The 1-1. 1-2 on Davis. Kurt Suzuki, the veteran catcher, flashing signs. Just missed the outer corner. Hughes thought he might have had strike 3 there. 2-2.
And Country Joe West behind the plate wasn't giving him that fastball, which was clearly off the plate.
Looked like a 2-seamer, tried to swing it back over that outside corner instead of the cutter. Be where he may come in here. He's finished a couple of the Tigers off late in there.
And he got him, strike 3. Davis disagrees. A crooked look for Country Joe. The Tigers will strand 2. Services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Meijer, save big with M-Perks from Meijer. Sign up at mperks.com. Well, they're shoehorned in here today, and that's just the way we like it. Opening day at Comerica Park, sellout crowd enjoying the Tigers and their 3-0 lead here today. Glad to have you with us. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, Kirk Gibson from Comerica Park as David Price goes back to work.
Outstanding pitch there, straight changeup thrown to Torrey Hunter. He knows that Torrey's notorious for swinging at first pitch fastball, so he pulled the string on him and was able to get Torrey to swing over the top of that change piece.
The other thing about Price today, he is now 9 of 13 in first pitch strikes. And as a result, 3 up, 3 down for 4 consecutive innings. Hunter, then Vargas, and then Plouffe here in the Twins' 5th inning. That is popped up straight at the right fielder, JD Martinez. 1 gone. Well, Saturday, MLB returns to Fox Sports 1 with a doubleheader as the Red Sox take on the Yankees in the Bronx, followed by a playoff rematch. Royals battling Mike Trout and the Angels. Coverage begins Saturday, April 11th at 12:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Yeah, a lot of people in baseball talking about the new improved Chicago White Sox and also the Cleveland Indians, but they're not giving the Kansas City Royals much credit at all. But I still think they're a really good team, and they're going to challenge the Tigers for the division this season.
Yeah, another team that's very athletic. Rod can put a lot of pressure on you. They defend very well.
Got some power arms at the back of the bullpen. They're going to miss James Shields. There's no question about that. 200 innings and a guy that wins you 15 games will be missed, but he taught that staff very well.
And if that bullpen can do anything like it did last year, they will be very, very tough.
That is driven down the left field line, a base hit. That'll be the first hit of the ball game for the Minnesota Twins as Vargas lumbers to first base.
It looked like one of the few curveballs that Price has thrown here today, but he did not bury at the bottom of the zone. If you bury it, Vargas will swing over the top of it, but this one was left over the heart of the plate, and Vargas hit it right over the head of a jumping, leaping JD Martinez.
Good job of Yoenis Cespedes getting over there and holding him to a single.
So here is Trevor Plouffe.
No threat to run.
That was the first hit of the game for the Minnesota Twins against Price. And what was your first clue? Give me that Vargas is not a threat to run.
Calling me out.
Yeah, imagine that, Miguel talking to a base runner.
Yeah, Miggy about 6'5", 245, 250. Vargas about 6'5", 6'6", 275.
Driven deep in the air to center field. Davis on the move. A lot of room out there, and Comerica will swallow that one up. Plouffe is out. Pretty good ratio there on David Price. 36 of the 50 he has thrown have been strikes.
And he's gone first pitch strikes on just about every single hitter that has come to the plate so far this afternoon.
Tigers now employing the shift on Oswaldo Arcia, who bounced out his first time up.
Yeah, Arcia getting the opening day assignment here today, despite going up against arguably one of the best left-handers in the American League in David Price.
Ball 1 high. Arcia has been moved to left field this year with the addition of Torrey Hunter, who has taken over in right. And honestly, Rod, last year at times it was kind of an adventure out there in right field for Arcia.
It was. And that's not his strongest part of his game. His bat is, no doubt. He hit 20 home runs last year.
Also, very big target field, very big. A lot of room to patrol out there, and very, very tough to play.
Check that out.
I see that.
And it's even autographed.
A signed Rod Allen jersey.
Wow. It's pretty impressive.
Our cameras, boy, they find everything.
No, they don't. Here's the 1-1. Get back out of play.
Price has just been so efficient moving his fastball around, whether it be the four-seam fastball or the cut fastball. Really hasn't needed to throw very many of the new improved curveballs so far here today. And until the Minnesota Twins make an adjustment against him, he's going to continue to do exactly what he has done, and that's pound the strike zone with well-located fastballs.
Yeah, I think he'll just use his secondary stuff just enough to keep them honest. If he gets in a bind here, though, you'll probably see him use more of his repertoire of pitches.
Swing and a miss. Price strikes out Arcia and shuts down the 5th inning. No runs, a hit, the first hit of the game for the Twins. Tigers in control. The bottom of the 5th inning on opening day, and the countdown is on. From now until midnight, you can get upper box tickets for just $19 to see the Tigers play the Twins on April 8th and 9th. Offer available exclusively at tigers.com/diamond deals. Enter the coupon code SPRING. That is your coupon code SPRING. Take advantage of that deal. Phil Hughes back to the hill now as the Tigers swing the bats here in the 5th. It'll be Kinsler to start things off, and Ian looks at a strike, 0-1. Kinsler's single and a strikeout in this game. Popped up behind the plate. See if there's room. There is not. It's about 4 or 5 rows back. 0-2 on Ian. 2, 3, and 4 facing Hughes here in the 5th. Cabrera, then Martinez to follow. Here's the 0-2. One of the things the Twins are hoping for more of this year is more innings out of their starters. They had more innings out of the bullpen than any team with the exception of the Angels last year.
Yeah, that's usually not good.
No, not good at all.
There you go. That's drilled towards center field. It'll sink in for a base hit.
Nice piece of hitting by Kinsler, who went to the bottom of the zone and got that breaking ball, flipped it in the shallow center field.
Yeah, you know, you talk about guys having length to their swing, like you say, stayed on it, didn't pull off it.
Here's our T-Mobile game changer, and this is probably one of the biggest game changers in the game. That would be Miguel Cabrera.
11 straight seasons with 300 or more total bases. Albert did it 12 times, Willie did it 13 times, and Lou Gehrig 13 seasons.
Pretty good company.
Iggy 0 for 2 in this game. Nice stab at third by Plouffe to second one, and plenty of time for the double play. 5-4-3. Base is empty now with 2 outs. We'll bring up Victor Martinez. Victor has put the ball in the air twice in this game. Once to the shortstop, once to the right fielder.
I think one of the things you want to look at to see how Victor's feeling is the way he's been running. It seems as though he's much better, doesn't have the limp as much. Last 3 games down in spring training, and he hit the home run down in Tampa Bay, so it looks like he's coming into shape rather quickly.
We're talking to Victor during spring camp about the injuries, he and Cabrera. A strike called, and how maybe the fans might be a little bit concerned that their 2 top hitters were coming off injuries, and Victor said, don't worry about us, we'll be ready to go.
Yeah, I think Victor would tell Kevin Rand, the trainer, to take him out and not play him every day. That wasn't the case.
Bounced foul down the third base line. We're talking about all those free agents that Dave Dombrowski has signed over the years, and of course Victor is part of this impressive list.
Yeah, Prince Fielder also signed as a free agent. Torrey Hunter has spent a couple of years in the uniform. Victor, of course, for 4 years has done marvelous work, making an all-star team last year. And of course, it all started back in '04 with the little pudgy one, Rodriguez.
Yeah, and just 2 short years later, the Tigers were in the World Series. 2-2 on Victor Martinez. And it's on the outside corner, strike 3. Country Joe rings him up. 5 strikeouts for Hughes, 5 in the books.
One hits, but take a look at how he's been able to spot his fastball working all 4 quadrants of the strike zone, down and in, down and away, up and in, up and away, an occasional changeup, an occasional breaking ball, but for the most part, David Price has used that fastball to his advantage here this afternoon against the Minnesota Twins on opening day.
And apparently he's not too nervous here, making his first opening day start at Comerica Park. 5 innings, just 1 hit, and hadn't walked anybody.
And not a shocker that he has not issued a base on ball.
A couple of nice defensive plays behind him as well.
That always helps.
Ian Kinsler climbing the ladder, and Yoenis Cespedes bringing a home run back.
First pitch is up to Kurt Suzuki. He's the number 8 hitter in Paul Molitor's lineup today. Suzuki, then Schaefer, and then Santana.
David has not gone 2-0 on many of the batters here today.
Price retired 13 straight to start this ball game, and then a single by Vargas broke that string. No damage was done. Here's the 2-0. To right field, that'll drop, base hit. Suzuki with a single to right. Well, it's April in the D on Fox Sports Detroit. Visit the life-size bobbleheads of Detroit Tigers Victor Martinez and Ian Kinsler at the GM Renaissance Center in downtown Detroit. For more information on April in the D, visit foxsportsdetroit.com. Leadoff man on now for Jordan Schaefer. Schaefer can run a little bit. Castellanos is on the grass defensively at third. It's been a while ago now, but Schaefer was at one time a very high draft pick of the Atlanta Braves and was thought very highly of.
He was claimed off waivers last August 3rd to be exact, by the Minnesota Twins, and what a nice find he has been for them. He has played the majority in left field last year, a lot of center field this year. He can really run, as you mentioned. And until they get those kids, Aaron Hicks, and whether he gets to the big leagues or not this year remains to be seen. But they also have another youngster, a very talented player, Byron Buxton, who is a very highly regarded prospect who they sent down to the minor leagues. They expect him to be the center fielder once he gets to the big leagues.
Hicks and Buxton appear to be on different trajectories right now, with Buxton on the rise.
They are a much better defensive club when they have Hicks in center field, but he really just hasn't performed all that well with the bat.
Yeah, big swing there by Schaefer. 1-2. Price last year, a 15-game winner overall, was acquired from the Rays in that 3-team deal involving Drew Smyly, Willie Adames, and Austin Jackson. Vila down to stop that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Price made 23 consecutive starts of at least 100 pitches or longer, which was the longest streak in the American League last year.
Yeah, it's 61 pitches now. Just kind of thinking ahead here, how many pitches they would let him go. Probably around 100 pitches today. Very efficient so far.
Slap foul.
And let's take a peek at our high-speed pitch. It's always brought to you by Xfinity. The best fastball thrown here today by Price. He's done that a couple of times. 95. He has gone as low as 79 with his breaking ball.
2-2. Bouncer back up the middle into center field, base hit. That'll move Suzuki to second base. Schaefer has a single, and while we have a chance, back in the studio with an update, here's Mickey York. All right, Mickey, thank you. Here it's the Tigers 3-0, but the Twins have something going now with back-to-back hits in the 6th. Only 3 hits allowed by Price today. And here is Danny Santana.
And both of the corner infielders, Miguel Cabrera and Castellanos, expecting a possible bunt. Maybe a bunt for a base hit. Santana can really handle the bat.
Santana's lined out twice, once to Castellanos in the first inning, and there in the 4th to Ian Kinsler.
Wave and a miss.
Looks like he's going for the downs there.
And 93-mile-per-hour fastball thrown right by him.
Price had retired the first 13. Now the Twins are 3 for their last 5. Santana hit .319 last year, best among American League rookies. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
He even missed with his location there. Avila wanted that fastball inside, but he dropped down to an arm slot, which allowed the ball to tail away from Santana. But he still swung through it. You can see he missed with his location. Avila wanted it in, but he threw it away, but no damage done.
Here's the 0-2. Got him, strike 3.
Look out, DP. He didn't miss with his location that time with the fastball. He got it inside.
You know, it's interesting to see how hitters are influenced by pitches. Even though he missed him, the ball was away. Santana not looking at the ball inside, and there's a great grip right in on the inside corner. Caught him looking.
1 out. Here is Dozier.
You want to make Dozier hit the ball the opposite way. Most of his power is to the pull field, and he's got plenty of power for a small guy.
If you're David Price right here, nice low pitch in the zone, try and get that double play. Hey, watch Kurt Suzuki out there. He's a veteran guy. You want to make sure you set up late if you're Alex Avila, which I've been watching him because they like to tip that location from second base. From both dugouts, they're always looking at the guy on second base to see if he's trying to relay location or signs.
Bouncing ball to short. Iglesias to second one. There's your double play.
Ask and you shall receive.
6-4-3. Nothing comes of the leadoff singles. Fans at the New Amsterdam 416 bar, Johnny.
Well, that we are, Mario. We're in the middle of getting a selfie done here. Wasn't my choice, but we're going to go with it. Hey, we're out here in right field. I know you guys did a broadcast out here last year. You can feel the energy flowing, but it's not the only thing flowing, if you know what I mean. Fans out here having a great time. We have a great time, obviously. Sight lines to the game are pretty good when this guy's not standing right in front of you. Send it back to you, Mario.
Hey, Johnny, I know what you mean. Have fun out there.
It didn't take Johnny long to find the party.
No, it didn't. Good job, young man. Have fun out there. The Tigers, of course, having fun today. They lead 3-0 and another sellout crowd on opening day. JD Martinez leading it off for the Tigers. Playing here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Martinez hit the home run in the 2nd, and then the 2-run shot by Avila.
And no doubt to JD. They're going to have to lay off that elevated fastball. Hughes has gone up there, and last couple of times he's been up there after homering his first time up.
Tigers about hit the Twins 7-3.
keeps climbing it a little higher. You might ask yourself, well, why don't they do it? But that's pretty deceiving coming out of Phil Hughes' hands, as you well know, Rod. That's just tough. His delivery, and he's got good giddy up, good jump in the top of the zone.
Even the count at 2-2. There's activity now. Thompson and Graham warming up. Thompson the lefty, Graham the righty.
Graham, a Rule 5 player who pitched in Double-A last year.
Fly ball, right field. There's Torrey. And Hunter makes the play, one gone. Oh, they're booing Torrey now for catching that.
Got the wrong uniform on. That's what happens.
That's right.
Don't cut him any slack.
Torrey, I'm sure, is still having fun with the fans out there in right field. Here is Yoenis Cespedes. Big day so far for Cespedes. Double run scored. Nice defensive play. He drilled one deep to center field his last time up. And is in for a strike. Cespedes knocked in 100 in the big leagues last year, splitting time with Boston and the Athletics. He'll drive this one deep to center field. Schaefer going back. Track. Wall looks up. Can't get it. It's off the wall. Cespedes will hit the bag at second. He's going to try for 3. And Yoenis dives in with a triple.
Let's take a look at our bale tire pitch by pitch. First pitch fastball taken right down the middle. Then Hughes elevates one that he lays off. And then he comes with something soft. And Cespedes went down to get it and hit it over the head of the center fielder, Schaefer. Schaefer with a nice try to make this play, crashing up against the wall, but not able to make that. And Cespedes, man, he got on his horse, able to get to third base. He can really run.
Miggy says, I think we're going to like this guy.
I think so. He's doubled, he's tripled, he's made a really nice defensive play in left field.
Infield in for the Twins. It is a strike call.
These are the runs that you have to score. Runner on third, less than 2 outs, infield in. Castellanos can really handle the bat. The runs that you have to score, you need to score in the big leagues, and this is one of those situations.
And if you're on the other side, they can't afford to give the Tigers another run. They're here in the 6th inning. They don't want to give them the 4th run.
0-2 on Castellanos.
Always trying to figure out, when do I bring the infield in, when do I leave him back? And I fear the Tigers early in the game, especially, you know they're going to score a lot of runs, so you'd be less inclined to do that. Here with the Twins, with David Price throwing the ball so well, they've got to try and stop that additional run.
Tigers now have 8 hits on the board today. That was close inside to Castellanos.
Gibby, do you think Cespedes is coming on contact here, or do you think they're going to make the ball be through the infield?
Yeah, I don't know. You got the lead, usually tend to be a little more aggressive.
Center field on a line, and Schaefer out there in center field.
Great base running by Yoenis Cespedes.
Yeah, you had a good read right there.
Base running. A lot of times in this situation, balls hit on the line where you're not sure whether the center fielder is going to catch it or not. You will break down that line about 4 or 5 steps. But look at Cespedes. He gets right back to the bag, and then he's able to tag up and score rather easily, because if he doesn't go back immediately, there's no chance that he scores on that shallow line drive to center field. Great base running instincts.
Yeah, and the other thing about that, we were talking about whether he was going on contact. He was not. If he's going on contact, he probably isn't able to get back in that case. But worked out. Very good base running.
And credit Castellanos. He was down in the count 0-2, and he comes back to driving the run. It is 4-0 Detroit. Avila has gone the other way twice in this game, single and a 2-run homer.
I don't know if that's his approach or not this afternoon, but they are obviously shading him to the pull field on the right side of the diamond, and he simply has gone the opposite way, as you mentioned. There's a lot of hits the other way, and until guys really start to go the other way with more frequency, opposing managers are going to continue to play the shift that so many teams are employing these days.
So much data that tells you that that's the right way to play them right there. Until you change it, like you said, you're going to continue to do so. I think because the shifts are so instituted in today's game, you are going to see guys change their approach in these situations.
Here's the 0-2. Well, we talked about this during one of our spring training telecasts. A 63% increase in total shifts last season from the 13 campaign.
Those shifts really only work unless you have a pitcher out there that has really good command, and Hughes would fall into that category with only 16 base on balls last year. He could really throw to where the defense is playing most hitters at this level.
So right now you would think they're probably going to throw him inside, right?
Possibility. Going away.
Swing and a miss. Avila down on strikes to end the inning. Tigers get another run, though. We invite you to take advantage of the Easter break and bring the kids to Comerica and see the Tigers take on the Twins this Wednesday and Thursday at 1:08. If you'd like tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Well, if you're Brad Ausmus right now, you're probably thinking about the game, how it's going to play out here. You know you've got Nathan in the 9th. You've got Sori in the 8th. So here we are in the 7th. David Price is only at 68 pitches, so he's got a lot of leeway here in this inning. So you mix and match if you have to, but I think David's in pretty good shape to get through this inning.
He's in pretty good shape to get through 8, to be honest with you here today.
Probably around 100.
Joe Mauer leads it off and rolls one towards second base. Kinsler throws him out.
Price is kind of a throwback here, guys. The fact that every time he goes out there, he's looking to go 8. He's looking to finish what he starts. And I think we've gotten ourselves in an era where most pitchers, at least early in the season, and a lot of times during the course of the season, guys go out and go 6 because they know that a lot of these bullpens have been built 7th, 8th, and 9th inning with a lot of power armed. But that is not the case when Price goes out there. He likes to go at least 8, as he did so many times last year.
Here's Torrey Hunter. Well, to be exact, Rod, 17 starts of 8 or more innings last year, which was the most since Cliff Lee had that many in 2010.
It's not the norm.
Not at all.
That is such an advantage for him to go inside on occasion. And I was talking to Jeff Jones about this earlier today, how easier it is for David Price to get outs once he does show that fastball inside. And he's got 95, so it doesn't mean that he can't throw it for strikes over the plate. Then that opens up the outside corner with the changeups and the cut fastballs.
Hunter today strikeout flyout, and he finds himself in an 0-2 hole right now. Missed it outside, 1-2.
Just good working the ball in. Previous pitch going away this time. Maybe throws another one away and finishes him in. Good pitchers, they'll sequence a couple pitches at a time to set up that put away pitch.
Hunter coming into play today was third among all active players in games played, over 2,200 games in a big league uniform.
Changeup. I like it.
2-2. Kenny Vargas will be next. Fouled away. Kirk, how important is a guy like Torrey Hunter in your locker room as a manager? You can speak of this when you have a player that maybe can police the locker room a little bit.
Yeah, it's so important because you don't have to be in there all the time. It's much more powerful coming from a veteran like a Torrey Hunter. I think they get tired of hearing from the manager and the coaches sometimes, but when Torrey speaks, I know they listen, and he was very impactful here when he was with Detroit.
He's worked the count full, 3-2.
Is it difficult for someone like Paul Molitor, who was a coach last year under Ron Gardenhire, who a lot of the players probably went to and confided in and had lots of conversations with? Does it become different, Gibby, once you become the manager of the team?
Oh, absolutely. And Paul Molitor is by nature a very intense human being.
Roll to the shortstop. Iglesias comes away with it.
And you want to pass that onto your team, and I've read comments that Molly wants his team to play with intensity. He wants them to play for each other, and there's a trick to building that relationship. As you said, when I was the bench coach, it was much different than when I was the manager. Players do complain sometimes, and they get frustrated. So
players don't complain, do they?
They're going to come to a bench coach or a position coach, and with those frustrations, when you're the manager, you're the guy making the decision. When you're a coach, you can play it off as I don't make the decision. So it's a tricky mix. But at the same time, you want people to be frustrated. You want them to play. You want them to let them hit certain situations, or that pitcher that wants to go like David Price the 8 innings. At the same time, you have to look out for their well-being over the long season.
That's rolled to the shortstop. Iglesias will handle this one as well. David Price with 3 ground ball outs here in the 7th inning, and Price cruising right along in his first opening day start as a Detroit Tiger here at Comerica Park. And so far so good for Mr. Price. The Tigers offense has backed him up with 8 hits on 4 runs, including a couple of homers as well. And as we go to the 7th inning stretch here at the ballpark, time for God Bless America, sung today by Amy Gold of the 126th Army Band.
By Staff Sergeant Amy Gould of the 126th Army Band.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean's white foam. God bless
Bottom of the 7th inning here at the ballpark on opening day. The Tigers have themselves a 4-0 lead against the Minnesota Twins. And Jose Iglesias stands in and is knocked to the ground in the very first pitch from the new pitcher. And that would be in our wall-side windows pitching change. J.R. Graham.
Yeah, pitched in Double-A last year for Mississippi in the Braves organization. 27 games, 71 in the 3rd innings, a 5.55 ERA. He's a Rule 5 guy, so he was able to stick with this Minnesota club after a nice spring. He really struggled in his last outing, but by and large had a decent spring.
So Graham takes over for Phil Hughes, who went the first 6 innings. Iglesias had a single and a stolen base. He's 1 for 2. And Graham misses high, 2-1. J.R. Graham, 25 years of age. Just 4 years of minor league experience under his belt. And he missed high again. 3-1 the count. Waiting on deck, Rajai Davis. In there for a strike, 3-2.
And take out Graham in his stirrups. Those are the old school stirrups. You don't see many guys wearing the sanitaries and the socks like he's wearing these days.
Got a story on that, Rod.
Oh, you do?
I do. Glad you brought that up. It's what we call synergy. We'll bounce her back up the middle and no chance to get a Iglesias. Well, J.R. Graham's mother, Julie, is legally blind. She suffers from a retina disorder. And ever since J.R. was playing ball, whether it was as a youth in the minor leagues, here in the big leagues, he always wore his socks high so his mom could pick him out on the field among all the other ball players.
Wow.
And so I think it's really a neat tribute to his mom. And so J.R. wears the socks as high as he possibly can for his mom, Julie.
He's got a big arm. He's got a fastball that's in the mid-90s. And that's something that the Minnesota Twins really haven't had a lot of. Out of their bullpen is a lot of power arms, but I think you're seeing most bullpens built with lots of guys that throw 95 and above.
Yeah, especially in the back end of it, 7, 8, 9. The middle guys, probably guys that go with a little more movement stuff. Sometimes they take the youngsters that throw hard and throw them multiple innings as well so they can develop all their pitches.
Runner goes outside. Suzuki's throw bouncing in and into center field, but it's backed up.
Suzuki had no chance whatsoever. Every now and then, most of the time, the base runner will steal against the pitcher, and Graham had a very high leg kick, which allowed Iglesias to get a great jump. Suzuki threw a courtesy ball down there, but there was no way that he was going to throw Iglesias out. Iglesias was up out of his slide when that ball got in the glove or past the second baseman, Dozier.
Like that pop-up slide by Iglesias right there. It puts you in better position if the ball gets by. You're ready to go.
That's his second steal of the day.
Sliced down the right field line. Foul ball. You know, we've made a lot of, Anthony Gose and what he's going to add guys to this lineup in terms of speed, and Kinsler could steal some bags. But we almost forget, because he didn't play all of last year, but Iglesias can move on the base paths as well.
He's a good base runner. Did not steal a lot of bases in 2013 when he hit better than 305, well 300, and he had 35 infield singles, but he is a guy that does have some speed, and he should really add to the athleticism of this 2015 group.
And also a very good tutor in Omar Vizquel.
The 1-2.
I'm kind of surprised that Gose is still just kind of kicking it on the bench. You would think that at some point in time, if the score stays as it is, he will be used as a defensive replacement in the outfield.
Here's Anthony, had himself a really good spring camp. His first year with the Tigers. Another foul back out of play.
Raji sticking with the great approach right there, trying to advance the runner over to third. Nobody out. Good 2-strike battle. Oh, Wally Joyner, his hitting coach, was very good at that.
Here's the 2-2. Instead, he'll go at least look back to the bag a second. Graham, originally a 4th round pick of the Braves. And he missed again outside, 3-2. Here's our 1-800-CALL-SAM call to the game. Brad, of course, is going to have a little more speed to deal with this year. 3 steals today, and you can see stolen base numbers on the climb severely from 2013.
106 last year, and they have a more athletic team this year than they did last year, so we may even see that number go up.
So Graham now has given up a hit, a steal, and a walk. And he'll get a visit from Suzuki.
Yeah, you just wonder how many Iglesias, you don't want to get too many, get too aggressive early in the year coming off that injury. It's good to get some of them in at the same time, give yourself time to recover, get a little more confidence as the year goes on, and have something left in your tank.
And we talked about Graham and the fact that he was pretty good in spring training, which allowed him to make the Minnesota Twins 25-man roster. He did have one poor outing, which was his last of the spring, but make no mistake about it, in Double-A they don't have lineups like the Tigers have. He's never seen hitters like this before. And here's his overall spring numbers, and the only reason why the ERA is elevated really his last game.
Well, he's got a problem to deal with here. Kinsler is up there with 2 out, nobody out. And the Tigers have the meat of the order coming up as well.
Lots of speed on the bases that influences him as well.
He's having a difficult time of getting the breaking ball over. He's already bounced several of those. Does he dare try to throw another one, or does he throw a fastball here to a really dangerous fastball hitter?
I think with Miguel Cabrera on deck, you're going to see more fastballs.
Get back into the seats and out of play. By the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, and folks, they need just 1 more, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get yourself a free small order of curly fries. Well, may happen this inning. I mean, you got some big bats coming up: Kinsler, Cabrera, Martinez, and then JD if it gets that deep.
JD Martinez taking advantage of that heater down in the dugout, trying to get warm.
A lot of attention to that runner.
More action. Stauffer warming up in the bullpen for Minnesota, the right-hander. Now the 1-2. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Santana going to tag the bag 1, and there's a double play. Graham needed that. He induces the ground ball.
Now Graham can take a deep breath, because you know it was hard a moment ago.
Yeah, Raji Davis went in there, even though that was a tailor-made double play right there. Raji Davis finished that play strong. Like to see that. Not conceding anything. I know Brad Ausmus loves that type of play.
Well, over the last 4 or 5 years, no one better than the guy standing in the batter's box with runners in scoring position, especially when you try to get him out in the strike zone. Miggy's that guy that really has no holes in his swing.
Way outside, 1-0. Here's the numbers, Rod. 2-out risk last year.
315. A lot of that credit goes to Victor Martinez. A lot of teams reluctant to pitch around Miggy last year with Victor batting behind him.
That's popped up. First base side. Will it stay in play? Mauer makes the catch, and Graham pitches out of trouble. No runs, a hit, a walk. 1 man left. Sports 1 with highlights, instant analysis, live look-ins from around the league. MLB Whip Around is weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. It's also streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Well, fans enjoying really some decent weather here for opening day, and of course the score is in their favor as well. David Price has been really good here in his first start of the campaign, allowing just 3 hits. And he'll go back to work now in the 8th inning. 7 innings so far for David. 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, and 0 base on balls.
And that pitch count is in outstanding shape. This next pitch will be number 80 on the afternoon for David Price.
Trevor Plouffe hits it in the air to right field. That'll be routine for JD Martinez.
He has done such a nice job today against some of their dangerous bats. That would be Plouffe and also Dozier, a couple of guys that have good pull power. He really hasn't allowed them to pull the baseball.
Well, if he goes 7 innings or more last year for Price, he did it 26 times, which led not only the American League, but Major League Baseball, period.
And you look in today's game, it's good to get that first pitch strike, but many outs by the Minnesota Twins today have been on that first pitch, and that gets you deep into games. He's very good at that. You establish your command, show that you're going to get ahead in the count. You have the dominating stuff, and ends up into easy outs. Really only had one situation. He got the double play and got out of it.
Arcia taps one foul down the first base line. Twins last year had a couple of guys that were very patient, that would look at a lot of pitches, and as a team they would see some pitches. Dozier, Mauer, a couple of guys that were very patient at the plate. But a lot of quick outs today for Price. There's the shift that they play on Oswaldo Arcia. And the 0-2. Swing and a miss.
Little elevation right there.
Check in with Justin White now. Preview what's coming up on Tigers Live postgame.
Hey Mario, it's been a fun opening day thus far, and it should be a fun postgame edition of Tigers Live. Mickey York and Craig Monroe holding things down in the Coliseum studios, and I'll be chatting with Tigers players, including David Price and Alex Avila. And of course, you'll hear from Brad Ausmus as well. Tigers Live right after the game, right here on Fox Sports Detroit, guys.
All right, Justin, thank you. Justin decked out in his Tigers orange tie today. Very nicely done. Here's Kurt Suzuki with 2 outs. Really, the only trouble that Price had was back in the 6th when they gave up back-to-back singles to Suzuki and Schaefer, but then he got himself a double play ball later in the inning. Twins have not threatened all that much today. It has been a dominating day for David Price. That's in the air to center field. Davis backing up. David Price in cruise control mode here this afternoon. A 1-2-3-8. Ballpark and submit them to us to Fox Sports Detroit on your mobile device. And of course, fans, look at this. One of the fans picked up a double play ball here from David Price.
Nice.
Pretty good video right there. And of course, take me out to the ball game. You check out your opportunity to submit your video at foxsportsdetroit.com. We have more information there. Share your photos and videos with us. Victor Martinez will start things off. It'll be Victor, then JD Martinez, then Yoenis Cespedes. J.R. Graham goes back to work, his second inning of work for the Minnesota Twins. David Price just 85 pitches to get through 8 innings today. Dominating the Twins this afternoon. Victor looks at a ball that's a tad high. Nobody was tougher to strike out in the major leagues than Martinez. Strike out every 15 plate appearances last year. Actually, a little bit more than 15 plate appearances. Tried to hold up there, couldn't do it. 2-1. Glad to have you with us here on opening day. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, Kirk Gibson manning the booth.
Enjoying a good ball game so far today.
That is up the middle into center, base hit. Leadoff single.
Well, you wonder if Brad's considering possibly pinch running for Victor, or if he's going to let him stay out there and run.
We shall find out soon.
Looks like he's going to let him run. I get the feeling that Victor wants to run. He wants to continue to play out the full game. He did it there in spring training. It was a little surprising because probably from a fan standpoint, or as we looked at it, probably worry a little bit about pushing him or extending him too much. But Victor has the attitude that he wants to run more, he wants to hit more, and that's how he feels he's going to get in game shape.
JD homered in his first at bat. He's 1 for 3.
He'll be going station to station anyway. He will not be trying to get down to second base unless Graham uncorks a wild pitch.
That's in the air to shallow center field this time. Schaefer coming on. 1 out. Well, you can follow the Tigers all season in 2015 with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment. At any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or your tablets. Ian Kroll, the lefty, Joe Nathan, the righty.
I would have to think that David Price would at least go back out there and start tonight. I think those guys are just up throwing just in case.
I would agree with that. What did I say, 85?
85.
Yeah, 85 pitches through 8, so here's a strike call.
Yeah, I think the magic number is somewhere right around 100. And don't just look at the pitches, because this is the first time David Price has got up and got down 9 times. This will be his 9th time up and down, and that's something you have to take into consideration. It's not just the pitches.
The other thing, Kirk, and correct me if I'm wrong, is he hasn't been in too much trouble today, so he really hasn't had many high stressful.
No stress at all.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is, which we don't really know, who's going to pitch. Is he going to get an extra day this time? Is he going to get going as a regular day's rest?
0-2 on Cespedes. That's in the air towards shallow right. Torrey Hunter coming on. A couple of fly ball outs for J.R. Graham, 2 gone.
Nice job by Graham making his major league debut, giving up a base hit and a stolen base to Iglesias, a walk to Rajai Davis, but he's retired the majority of the hitters he's faced, other than that base hit by Victor up the middle.
Yeah, I think David Price is planning on going out there.
You wouldn't have it any other way.
Here's Castellanos. Tigers had 10 hits in this game today, just 3 allowed by Price. Strike one.
That's the best breaking ball that Graham has thrown.
Nick had a sac fly his last at bat, his first RBI of the year. He drove in 66 last year. 0-2 on Castellanos. Off day tomorrow for these two teams, and then Aníbal Sanchez and Ricky Nolasco in game 2 on Wednesday. But today it's the David Price show. Pulled towards short on a line, and that'll end the inning. Nothing comes of the leadoff single. Go to the 9th. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. On opening day, they lead 4-0. Nice little debut here for Yoenis Cespedes. A couple of hits, double, triple, and of course David Price has been the big story, and Vila with a 2-run shot and a single. So you total it all up, and the Tigers in pretty good shape here as we go to the 9th. Andrew Romine will take over defensively at third base. Castellanos out of the game. And David Price trying to finish this one off. First pitch is inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Escobar the pinch hitter for Schaefer. And that is in there, 1 ball, 1 strike on Eduardo Escobar.
Continues to pound the zone.
It's fouled away.
Take a look at the out distributions today, and thrown by David Price. 11 flyouts. He's really played to the ballpark here today. Not many of the Minnesota Twins have the power to reach the seats, as he's allowed them to hit fly balls in every direction. Hasn't needed many strikeouts.
Oh, we wanted to call that. Come on, Joe.
If he throws that fastball inside with the kind of frequency as he has done so far here today against the majority of the league, we might just be looking at the American League Cy Young Award winner.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. He certainly has the capability.
Not many guys throw inside these days.
Gonna double it.
Oh, I love it.
Escobar had himself a pretty good spring. 340-40, hit 4 home runs. Get this, he knocked in 20.
He really should be in the starting lineup.
No doubt.
He hit 315 last year, drove in 37, had 119 hits. He played shortstop last year. Santana played center field, but now he finds himself coming off the bench. I'm sure Paul Molitor is going to find a way to get Escobar 350, 400 at bats this season.
Bryce ready with the 2-2. Pulled. On a backhand Iglesias.
That's nice.
Nice pick at first base by Cabrera.
He's got some outstanding feet and he gets outstanding jumps. He's always on the balls of his feet. He gets there and then he just kind of takes his time and plants his feet and throws the ball over to Miggy, and Miggy had to help him because the ball bounced. But it's going to be awfully fun watching Iglesias play shortstop all season long.
Good pick by Miggy. The other thing is that's a good hop that you can pick right there. Got on top of that ball, didn't tail on him. Very important.
Here is Danny Santana. Strike one on Santana.
18 of 28 first pitch strikes so far for David Price.
Only 3 hits allowed, all singles. That is it. Wave and a miss. 0-2.
David Price, only 1 3-ball count. He has only gone to 3 balls on 1 of the Minnesota Twins hitters so far here today. Remarkable.
Talking about a stat in spring training. What did he do last year in Tampa at the start?
He didn't have 1 3-ball count in that game
Yeah.
that day. Pitched an 8-inning complete game against his former team in his first trip back down to the Trop in St. Pete. And he should have won the game. I believe he lost, what, 1-0 or something like that?
Yeah. 0-2 on Santana. Pull that one foul. I would imagine as well, you know, when Price came over last year, obviously getting accustomed to a new city, a new team, the pressure of pitching in a pennant race and being the ace, he's got to feel more comfortable from the chute this year with the surroundings.
It appears to be that way. He said as much at Tiger Fest in the Caravan in early January, how much more comfortable he felt this year, and he just loves pitching in Detroit.
Fly ball, center field.
Another fly ball out. 12 on the day.
2 up, 2 down here in the 9th.
This crowd's going to get up, and boy, they're going to give him a nice round of applause. Some great fans here, Gibby.
Yeah, they are. They always have been. They want to see a winner. They want to go all the way. 96 pitches right here, Rod. You probably get close to the end.
He's going to finish it.
Do it in about 4 pitches or less would be nice.
Here's Dozier.
He's got to be taking his first pitch, his first strike.
Ball high, 1-0. Dozier career is just 4 for 21 against Price, but 2 of those hits are homers. David barely breaking a sweat today. Here's the 1-0.
David has done here this afternoon what aces do.
You'll think back to his last start, how worried everybody was about his last spring start. Tells you it doesn't mean that much.
He was just tired of Lakeland. He
Yeah,
was ready to go.
It was a line drive to left center, going to drop in, base hit. Davis over to play it, and Dozier is not done playing today. It's a 2-out single.
Brad's going to go get him.
Oh, Brad Auspis is going to walk out to the mound. We'll see what his thoughts are.
Yeah, I think maybe one more hitter.
We'll see.
He's up there around that 100 pitches, and he's thinking ahead for the whole season. It might be a smart move.
Well, he's got a left-hander in Maurer standing in the batter's box. He has Ian Crow already in that Tigers bullpen. He's going to take Davis's temperature and see what David wants to do.
He's going to get one more hitter. Get no Joe Nathan if he has to get on Torrey.
So Price stays in the game to face the lefty Mauer. That was just the 4th hit given up today by Price. Mauer is 0 for 3. Couple of ground balls and a strikeout. And it's hit for a strike. Mauer sends a ground ball back up the middle. Kinsler diving play. His throw is not in time. Infield hit for Mauer.
Yeah, he might just have to go get him now.
Yeah, I think it's the right thing to do. He's had 100 pitches. He's been up and down 9 times. And here he comes.
So Brad Ausmus will make a pitching change here. Price will not get his complete game. It'll be a wall side windows pitching change, and David Price about to get a huge round of applause.
And well deserved.
A sellout crowd here on opening day, letting David Price know what they think of his performance.
Yeah, you know he's disappointed, but he gave everything he had. What an effort.
David Price is done for the afternoon. A spectacular effort today, and he'll give way to Joe Nathan.
You look at Joe Nathan, 35 out of 42 last season, 58 innings. No, he didn't finish as strong as he wanted to do last year, but this is a new year. Right here, he's got a good safe situation, good time for him to succeed and get off to a good start.
Give me, how important is it for Nathan to finish this deal here today due to what he went through last year and also not necessarily having a great spring?
I'm sure that Joe's tried to erase some of the poor memories from all last year. So this is obviously, he's been working hard on trying to reestablish his dominance. So this is a great opportunity for him. If you're looking at it right here, Torrey Hunter is not the go-ahead run, so you can still make your aggressive pitches. Vargas, the batter on deck, is the most dangerous guy we need to worry about right now.
Hunter waves and misses 0-1.
That comes from knowing Torrey Hunter and the fact that he loves the swinging at first pitch fastballs. Real nice slider there thrown by Joe Nathan with some outstanding tilt to it.
Great location, down and away. Don't want to give anything he can hang.
Torrey
He taps one foul and now finds himself in an 0-2 hole. And Nathan 1 strike away. Trying to save win number 1 on the season for David Price here on opening day. Nathan ready with the 0-2. Checked it.
He wanted to.
And Kerwin Danley said he did not go.
Keeping the ball down, that's where you want it.
David Price lifted after 101 total pitches. 75 strikes today. Pounded the strike zone, got some quick outs, and now waiting on Joe Nathan to close it down.
Little gamesmanship by Torrey Hunter right there. Did they all got something in my eye? Well, that you know, it works. There's pressure on people. You want to use that to your advantage. Didn't think you could do that this year.
One and two. Checked it again. He went around, strike 3. And David Price pitching a gem here on opening day. Joe Nathan gets the save, and the Tigers begin 2015 in impressive fashion.
Outstanding pitch here by Nathan, who had a really good slider in the few pitches that he threw. This one he buries down and away. Torrey Hunter thought that he held up and he checked his swing, but Country Joe West, he called it himself, and Torrey was very upset at Country Joe.
David Price happy.
Yes, he is. Tigers fans are happy today.
45,030 in attendance here on opening day, and David Price comes away with the victory. So do the Tigers. 4-0 your final score, and a whole lot more coming up from Comerica Park.